Hey, how's it going, guys? It is Foxy98 here, and welcome back to another round of F1 2020 Subscriber Championship Season number 2. We're here for round number 4, which is the Austrian Grand Prix for this week's race. If you ever joined today's video, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. And let's get straight into the race. So, for the random grids for today, we're starting the race from 10th on the grid. So we are a long way back in this race, so we're just going to have to live with that and move on. And hopefully, just try and make it as many places as possible. Hopefully try and get like a top 5 finish maybe. I think that's not too over-ambitious. But obviously, you know, there's a lot of good drivers on the grid. So we'll just have to see where we are at the end of it all. So as you can see, waiting for the rest of the drivers to get ready to go racing. We're going to be starting on the soft tyres and then going to the mediums at the end of the race. I was considering doing medium to soft. But in the end, I decided to just stick with the soft compound tyres to start the race on then. So apart from Hazard, who you can see there, it's decided not to go that route, but we go onto the grid then. The 5 red lights are on, and now they're off, so we can get underway here in Austria, and it's a decent start for us actually. Getting alongside Hazard immediately, who doesn't get a good run on those medium tyres, and as we go in towards someone, we got very close then to making contact with one of the Ferraris. We might have actually made contact with a Ferrari, I actually can't remember at that point, but luckily no damage done for either parties, and we can get going now as we head up in towards turn 3 now. You can see Con here on the inside. We're going to try and go around the outside here, but Con says absolutely no, and he puts us off the circuit. Well, I say put us off the circuit. Basically tells us go off the circuit because I'm not giving you the room. So we go off the track then, and we just about redefend from Schumacher there, who's trying to come at us now around the outside, and we're going to do the same thing and give him a big squeeze on the inside there. Now as we go in towards the middle sector, he can see Con looks like he's trying to find a way past Zombie literally very quickly actually, really trying to make a move here as we now move onwards in this race. You can see Con now is just a little bit ahead of us. I think Sam might have actually taken the lead of this race. I'm not actually quite sure who's on pole. I think it was Azzy that started the race from pole, but he's on the medium tyres, so he's doing something different, and it's not him that's on pole. We have a horrible run, though, through the final 2 corners, and it's actually Tominator then that leads the race then for Haas. Then it's Sam, I believe, in 2nd place, Azzy in 3rd, and then we've got Con here trying to go the inside now of Zombie in towards turn 1. That's going to get a little bit feisty between the pair of them. We'll take advantage of that little bit of a kerfuffle that they've had there now, heading in towards turn 3 now. This is going to be 3 wide, possibly here with Con on the inside. We're now going to be all the way around the outside on this move here, and that's exactly what we are, pinned down there around the outside. Not really much I could do there, to be honest, so we'll just move on with that one. I think Zombie was the man that actually backed out of it in the end there, so we gained a position out of all of that. We're going to try, that was a little bit, okay, hands up on that one, that's my bad. Unfortunately there, I just got such a good run on Colin, he just broke a little bit early, and in fairness I broke a bit too late there. Obviously, if Con lost out and I'd overtaken him, I would have handed myself a penalty for that 100%, but luckily I was able to, despite hitting him and him losing the rear. Oh no, there's a big crash there. As I was just trying to explain what's going on with Con there. That's Azzy and Callisto that have had a big crash there. They've spun off now, and that's given us 2 free places then, straight away then. So a huge crash for 2 of the leading contenders in this Grand Prix. That's a disaster for the pair of them now in this race, but as I was just about to say, obviously, luckily for me, when I hit the back of Con and he sort of lost the rear a bit, I just lifted off and just allowed him to stay in front of me, because obviously I was not going to overtake him from doing that, because that would have been an illegal overtake and I would have penalised myself for it. But speaking of Con now, he's right on the back here of Wingman now, as Sam there looks like he's just taking the lead away from Tominator, and now all of a sudden here, we're going to try and make a switchback move here on both Wingman and also from Con here, from that move that they just did into turn 3, and we do just that then, so capitalising on the pair of them now, scrapping away with each other, and that just gives us a free run then in towards turn 4 to do what we like, and we're now up into 3rd place. Sam, you can see that has just overtaken Tominator for the lead of the race, and it's at the fastest lap. And now speaking of the fastest, or a lap 8 to the Grand Prix now, and we're on the back here of Tominator. We've closed up to him now in this Grand Prix. We're getting very close now in towards turn 4. Sam there, just 1.9 seconds now up the road in this race, and now all of a sudden we're starting to bring ourselves into the mix here to fight for the win of this Grand Prix. But we've got a lot of work to do still. We've obviously got Tominator to try and pass, who's not going to be easy, despite the fact he's lacking some pace at the moment. Really struggling there through in towards the high-speed chicane now, in towards the final 2 corners. It looks like Tominator, is he going to come into the pits on this lap then as we go in towards the sector last corner? He doesn't, and unfortunately for me, that's actually a little bit annoying, because as we now go on to do another lap here, Sam ahead, who was obviously our teammate, he's in the lead, so he's got track position and the right to choose when he wants to stop first in this race now. As we go through in towards turn 1, the back end stepped on us, horrible bit of oversteer there, and that's cost us a good old second there, which is crucial in the fight that I'm in as well, with the likes of Con and also DHL F1 guy who have pitted a lap earlier than me. But as I was saying, because Sam has got track position on me, he's obviously entitled to strategy preference, and obviously because Tominator was staying out, I would have preferred to have pitted and got the undercut on him, but unfortunately I couldn't, and because I lost the rear, I was unable to overtake Tominator then and use the DRS to effect really and the slipstream. So unfortunately that has cost us dear, but now we're going to come into the pits and get a fresh set of medium tyres on and go to the end of the race now and see where we line up with our competitors. And speaking of Tominator, looks like he actually had to make a front wing change. Now, I was wondering why Tominator was really struggling for performance, because he's not normally as slow as that. Like, I was literally hovering all over the back of him there, but it was quite clear why he had some front wing damage there, as we're coming out right next to Wingman here, who's got a 3-second time penalty, but we've got the DRS because we were in the detection zone versus Tominator. And now as we go in towards the turn 3, getting very late on the brakes there, but we just about hold it in place. Unfortunately though, we have been undercut in this race by both Con and DHL F1 guys, so all of the work that we did to actually pass them has now been completely undone, because they strategically boxed a lap early and made the undercut work by pushing hard. But now the two of them are scrapping away up front, and speaking of them scrapping away, we're now right to the back of them, and this is going to be a 4-way fight here for 2 spots on the podium, because we've got Con who's 2nd, DHL who's 3rd, we're in 4th, closing them now, Wingman's in 5th, but he's got a time penalty. Now Con is into attack here. We have to back out though, unfortunately. There's just nowhere for me to go here in towards turn 3, apart from trying to sneak it up the inside and be a bit clever here, as Con now gives us a little bit of a whack there. He tends to do that actually, gives you a little bit of a whack every time he's alongside somebody. It's almost like a bit of a threat here, but we've got DRS now on DHL F1 guy here, who doesn't have DRS on anybody. We're going to have to go through the middle here of 2 cars. We do just that though. We've got ahead of Con, but we are now struggling to find our way past DHL F1 guy. Of course, the two of us at the top of the championship. I think DHL's got like a big lead basically. But as you can see now, through in towards the middle sector, we do get in front of the AlphaTauri, and we're up into 2nd place now. Sam there leads now by 3.3 seconds. Of course, all of us scrapping is just allowing Sam to have a most comfortable race of his entire life, quite frankly, and I'd rather be in his position, but unfortunately, when you've got 3 DRS zones around Austria, it's so hard to break the DRS unless you are genuinely over 1.5 seconds faster per lap. So we're just going to have to live for the next 5 or 6 laps with us tossing and turning track positions here now as we go up in towards turn 3. Just check to see if I had any damage from that attack that we did a lap earlier, but it's not going to work as DHL is committed here to going down the inside in towards turn 3, but I'm going to make sure that he has as little in terms of his angle to turn in as possible to really tighten his line, and that's exactly what we've done as we now make our way down towards turn 4. Once again, some more DRS being used. He goes very late on the brakes there in towards turn 4. He's actually gone a little bit too late there and goes off the circuit in doing so, and that's cost him some time now. He's cost himself a position to Wingman and also to Con, so a little bit over ambitious in towards turn 4. Initially he was ahead, but he went in too deep into the corner, and by the time I was there, I had the line and I was able to just close that one off. And unfortunately, that's one of those cases where it's a little bit too late on the brakes there. I've done that move way too many times. In fact, I did it to Con earlier, obviously, when I accidentally tapped the back of his car. I went in a bit too deep. If he wasn't there, I would have gone a lot further away. But now all of a sudden, the relaxation of not having DHL on my back is gone, because now I've got Con all over my back here, who tries to have a look in towards turn 1, thinks better of it and decides he wants to go for it in towards turn 3, which is absolutely fair enough, and that's what he's going to do here. We're running low on everything, ERS and fuel now, so we go in towards turn 3. Con now makes the lunge in towards turn 3, but unfortunately for Con, that's also too late on the brakes, and I'm going to say thank you very much to that, and I'm going to blast off into the distance now. Wingman will try and get onto the back of Con here and see if he can try and find a way through now in towards turn 4, but crucially I need them to start scrapping now. 0.8 of a second is the gap, and now it's over a second, so this is a crucial stage of the race, and that is what we need. As you can see here, lap 18 of the Grand Prix now, those that are now scrapping away for positions, but we've caught up to the back of Sam here on the last lap of the Grand Prix. The two McLaren drivers now, 1st and 2nd, but you can see here that we've pulled the 5.5 second gap on them now behind. They've been completely dropped now in this race, but all of a sudden we're looking at a potential win here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Sam's had it all his own way in this Grand Prix, but now all of a sudden, he's going to be under pressure here because we're not going to get the run here as we open up the DRS now. Use the rich mixture and overtake, give it everything we've got. We're telling Sam, I'm going to go for it now around the outside in towards turn 4. So here we go, round the outside in towards turn 4. It doesn't quite work. A little bit of contact there between myself and Sam. Sam gives us a massive squeeze there off the exit, and we're unfortunately not going to be getting the win here at the Austrian Grand Prix because Sam says no and gives us a massive shove wide in towards turn 4 there, and unfortunately for us it is not going to be the race victory here, but as you can see now we're just going to try and close up to the back of Sam as much as we can. But no matter what though, it is the perfect result here for McLaren and for us as a team. We're going to come across the line to get a 1-2 finish at the Austrian Grand Prix, and that is absolutely fine by me. For Sam, I think, started in 4th place and recovered to get himself P1 and won the Grand Prix, and we started 10th and we managed to get 2nd place. Can't argue with that. Really, really great result for us as a team, and overall just some very, very hard fought racing in general. I think everyone on this grid has turned into a Max Verstappen in Spain in turn 1, and I mean, whatever. It's fine. We'll just go for it and do what we can. Lots of obviously hectic moments here or thereabouts, but as you can see, everyone crossing the line there, and I mean, we can see the grids. Obviously, DHL F1 guy finishes in 3rd ahead of Hazard, who is 4th, and then it was Con in 5th. Tominator finishes in 6th. Azzy, unfortunately, finished in 7th. Started on pole, was on the medium tyres, so lost some track time early on in the race. Then him and Callisto had a bit of a collision, and that obviously cost him his time. Zombie at 8th, Callisto 9th, and Wingman finishes the race in 10th as we go through and see everybody else. Then obviously the drivers there finishing outside of the top 10, and there you can see is all of us done and dusted. So we're going to claim 2nd place then in this race. Great recovery drive from us, and we should obviously get driver of the day, as you'll never mind, we didn't. I was like, yeah, it should be me driver of the day. It definitely wasn't, but overall, we had very, very nice pace. Obviously, with Austria, it's just so difficult to break the DRS, because once we got out of DRS range from the likes of Con, DHL, and also Wingman, we were much, much quicker in the space from when we defended from DHL and also from Con, and got to the back of Sam at lap 18. Like I said, we dropped them by 5 seconds. It's just getting out of DRS, especially when there's 3 DRS zones on all 3 of the long straights. It's just so hard to pull away, but finally, we managed to do so. Close up to Sam, and he gave us a massive squeeze on the exit of turn 4, but at the end of the day, I didn't have as much as my car alongside to warrant all of that space. He was more than happy he's more than entitled, sorry, to force me wide in that corner, and he did just that. And at that stage, honestly, I actually should have just backed out of it. I actually cost myself more by staying in there and then getting dirt on the grass and nearly spinning myself and also Sam out. So yeah, Sam was entitled to do what he did, and yeah, we move on. So as you can see in the championship then, DHL F1 guy still leads the Drivers' Championship as expected. He's currently on a very consistent run here of first, third. So in the next race, he should finish first. If he doesn't, then you've broken your own trend, and I'm appalled. Next up then is ourselves. We are 9 points behind in the championship. Still having a great run actually so far in sub-champ for a change. We've obviously got 3rd, 1st, 4th, and then 2nd. So yeah, we've pretty much got all of the top 4 places. Sam has shot up to 3rd in the championship now, thanks to his race win. Obviously, after not making it for the Bahrain Grand Prix, only been around for the 3 races. Great job from him. Hazard is 4th in the championship with himself on 46 points. Tong now is 5th in the championship on 0 points. Unfortunately, I found out why Tong actually didn't score any points, and it was because he got taken out by, he got hit off by Schumacher into turn 3, and then there was a lag connection problem, and it sent them both into the oblivion into turn 4 then. Callisto is 5th in the championship, just 1 point behind now on 35 points. Zombie is next on 22 points. Next up then is Con in 8th with 18 points. Then we've got Tominator, who is on 16 points. Wavy Knife is on 13 points. Constant Soda is on 10 points. Azzy picks up his first points as he is welcomed into sub-champ in the Red Bull. He's got 6 points. Then we've got Lion, who is on 2 points. Same with Madman. Same with Wingman, who actually got P10 in this race, but he did claim the fastest lap. And then we've got a few other competitors there who have still yet to score points or have literally just been added into sub-champ. So obviously, you know, they haven't been around for it. Constructors' Championship, that 1-2 for McLaren has given us a massive boost. We're now 35 points clear of AlphaTauri. We got the maximum 43 points from today's event. AlphaTauri only picked up 17, so they're on 82 points. Ferrari are next in the championship with 57 points, and it's Williams with 56 points. Next up is Renault, who are on 36 points. Haven't actually scored in the last 2 races. Red Bull are on 19 points. Then it is Haas, who are on 16. Racing Point are on 10. Mercedes and Alfa Romeo are on 2 points. But that is it then for this episode of Subscriber Championship. The next race is the British Grand Prix, which has already been recorded by the time you're watching this video. We did a double header for Austria and Silverstone because then there's a week break because I'm not around, and then we'll be back for Belgium afterwards. So if you're a part of SubChamp, don't spoil the British Grand Prix when you're seeing this. Let the people wait and find out what happens. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys for the next episode, which is the British Grand Prix. Until then, see you next time. Peace.